We're live! Woohoo! This is Math 40, Elementary Algebra. This is 5.7, and we've just finished learning some basic rules about multiplying polynomials, specifically binomials. We learned the formula for FOIL, and now we're going to look at some very special applications of this. And it's going to be kind of up to you. If you're going to go all the way up to calculus, I would say you really should memorize these formulas. If you are done in a couple semesters, it's kind of up to you because a lot of these formulas are things that you can use FOIL to do. So it's if you're good at memorizing, I would say go ahead and memorize them. These will be useful. If memorizing is not really your thing, there are other ways to do it. The one benefit of memorizing these formulas is that when we go into the next chapter and start taking multiplication backwards, so we're actually dividing or factoring, that's when these are really going to shine. So it's up to you, but I encourage you to be at least familiar with them. So let's take a look at a couple of these formulas. The first one is called the square of a binomial. Well, in other words, I've taken a plus b times a plus b. So really, this is a plus b, the quantity squared. That's why it's the square of a binomial. And let's use FOIL. F-O-I-L. First, a times a. Outer or outside, a times b. Inner or inside, b times a. And last, b times b. It's all positive, so these are all pluses here. And one thing that I'll point out is you notice that I didn't leave nearly enough room, but also do you notice that the AB and the BA, they're basically the same thing because BA is AB. You just flip the order. Multiplication can be written either way. So in fact, what we get is a squared plus 2AB. The AB, get out my handy dandy. There we go. This guy right here and this guy right there go together to make the 2AB. And then we've got a b squared. A squared, two of these guys, and then a b squared. Okay, so that's the first one. This is called the square of a binomial. From this perspective, it will also be known as the perfect square. Next up, a plus b times a minus b, which is very awkwardly referred to as the product. So multiply a sum, a plus b, there's the sum, and a difference. A difference is another way to say subtracty thing, a minus b. So it's the sum, and so there's a plus and then a minus. This is the one that I liked so much that I go because it telescopes short. Let's look at it here. If I do F-O-I-L, and I draw a little bit of a line to get some separation. A times a for first, and then outside is minus a times b. Inside is plus b times a, and last is b times the opposite of b, so it's minus b times b. It's a squared minus ab plus ab minus b squared. Notice I rewrote this one as ab. So these two cancel out, and we get a squared minus b squared. This is called a difference of squares. Let me pull that in just a little bit so you can see it. There we go. So those are our two big formulas for right now. There are so many formulas you can memorize if you'd like, but those are the two. And here I've expanded it, so I will include this little cheat sheet in the notes so that you can copy it if it's something that'll help you with the homework. And so here are the two formulas. Now this one, I have a plus b times a plus b, the quantity a plus b squared. And I also have a minus b times a minus b. So that's a different kind of square. It's the same thing twice. So in both cases, we get that 2ab in the middle. If I have a minus in the middle, I have a minus in the middle in the product. Now here's the sum and the difference multiplied together, and I get the minus in the middle, a squared minus b squared. And you see I've got the two different kinds of words, the two ways that we refer to it. It's pretty funny. Imagine if when a zebra is walking towards you, you call it a zebra, but when it's walking away from you, you call it a peacock or something. It's kind of silly, but this is what mathematicians do. The front side of an equation has one name, and the back side of an equation has a completely different name. I know, we're just so much fun. We really are. Okay, so let's try a couple of examples. The truth of the matter is you don't have to use the formula. You can use FOIL to multiply these out. I'm going to go ahead and say, hey, let's identify the formula. I've got a minus and a plus, so that's this one, the product of a sum and a difference. So if I've got a minus b, so I've changed the order, right? Sometimes the minus can come first. I'm going to get a squared minus b squared. Again, could you FOIL this out? Absolutely. But let's try using the formula. Capital A goes with the little a, and capital B goes with the 3. So I get a squared minus 9. Pardon me for a moment. I'm going to ask someone to check. Apparently a bomb is going off in the background. I don't know. Oh, well, this has been an exciting day. Don't worry about it. We'll take care of it in just a little bit. Okay, but math doesn't wait for broken glasses. We're going to go ahead and finish this. Maybe I'll finish a little more quickly. And then I will go and take care of the thing that just fell. Okay, again, 1 minus 4x, 1 plus 4x. I've got a difference and a sum. I've got an a minus b and an a plus b. So altogether, that'll give me a squared minus b squared. Capital A lines up with the 1. So I've got 1 squared. The capital B lines up with 4x. So I'm going to put all of 4x together into a square. So then I get 1 minus, and then this, you have to square both. So the 4 squared is 16, and the x squared is x squared. Just like that. So these are kind of handy. Again, you could use FOIL. FOIL will be about just as long, maybe a little bit longer if you get really good with the formulas. Okay. This is 1 minus 4x times 1 minus 4x. And I am going to pull out the handy dandy formula guy here so we can take a look. This is, let me pull this up a little bit so you can see it. Okay, this is 1 minus 4x, the quantity squared. So it's going to be the second one here, the a minus b times a minus b. So we've got a minus b, the quantity squared, is going to be a squared minus 2ab plus b squared. And it's really important to be paying attention to this and really understanding the different parts. I square the first one. I square the last one. That's the first. That's the last. And what's in the middle? That's the oi, the outer and the inner. So how does that work in this case? Well, in this case, the a is 1. So I square the first one. And the b is 4x. Now, a lot of people are like, well, what about the minus? Do I have to worry about the minus? And the answer is no, because it's part of this formula. See, the minus is supposed to be there. So we just follow this formula because the minus is already taken care of. So I've got b is 4x, the quantity squared. And then in the middle, I've got a minus 2 times 1 times 4x. So this one's a little more complicated. Now, you might ask, wait, FOIL would be so much faster. It could be. It could be. So you may decide that this formula does not help you. And again, what I would recommend, 4x, the quantity squared is 16x squared. I would recommend learning these formulas, not because they're necessarily faster, but because they help you once we go the other direction. Okay, it's been very exciting. Hopefully you all are able to do math without too many casualties. And I will be back for another video in just a little bit. Woohoo! Are you okay, Charlotte?